The rain-slicked streets of Chicago gleamed under the streetlights like shattered promises as Layla stared at the embossed invitation in her trembling hand. It was for her cousin's wedding, another family milestone she wasn't meant to attend, not because of distance or drama, but because her love for women had carved an invisible line through the guest list years ago. In that instant, as thunder cracked overhead, she whispered to the empty apartment, "This ends today," her voice a spark igniting the storm she'd bottled up for too long. Layla crumpled the card, letting it fall like a discarded leaf, and grabbed her coat. The Windy City had always been her anchor, its relentless gusts mirroring the push-pull of her heart against the family's ironclad traditions. Born into a sprawling African-American clan in the South Side, where Sundays meant church hymns and soul food feasts, Layla had grown up idolizing the weddings that bound them tighter than blood. Her grandmother's lace veil, passed down like a sacred relic, the way uncles two-stepped with aunts under strung fairy lights, the vows that echoed promises of forever. But when Layla came out at 19, fresh from community college with dreams bigger than the block, those same gatherings turned cold. Whispers slithered through reunions. "She's confused." Invites stopped arriving one by one until family events felt like echoes from a life she could only watch from afar. Tonight, though, something fractured inside her. The cousin, little Marcus, who'd once chased her through sprinklers, was tying the knot at the Grand Hyatt downtown, a venue dripping with crystal chandeliers and old-world glamour. Layla hadn't been invited, of course. Her mother had called last week, voice laced with that familiar pity. "It's just, you know how your Annie feels, baby. We love you, but traditions." Layla had hung up without a word, the phone heavy as a stone in her palm. But love wasn't a tradition to be edited out. It was the pulse in her veins, the fire that had drawn her to Sophia 3 months ago at a poetry slam in Wicker Park. Sophia. The name alone softened the edges of Layla's rage. They had met under the dim glow of a microphone stand, where words hung in the air like smoke. Sophia, a graphic designer with roots in Pilsen and a laugh that unraveled knots, had recited a piece about hidden gardens in concrete jungles. Layla, nursing a gin and tonic after a brutal day at the nonprofit where she advocated for queer youth, had felt seen, not as the family's black sheep, but as a woman blooming in defiance. One shared glance, a post-reading coffee that stretched into dawn walks along Lake Michigan, and suddenly Layla wasn't alone in the silence. She hailed a cab now, the driver eyeing her through the rearview as she rattled off the Hyatt's address. "Big night?" he asked, oblivious. Layla forced a smile. "The biggest." Her phone buzzed. "Sophia, texting a heart emoji and thinking of you under these stars." Layla typed back, "Come find me. Make it unforgettable." As the cab wove through traffic, horns blaring like impatient heartbeats, memories flooded her. The first time she'd kissed a girl, 16 and terrified, in the back of a high school theater. The fallout with her father, who still sent birthday cards but never called. The quiet pride marches she'd joined, rainbow flags whipping in the wind like banners of her unyielding spirit. The hotel lobby was a whirlwind of silk and cologne, guests in tailored suits and shimmering gowns milling about like elegant ghosts. Layla smoothed her emerald dress, the one Sophia had picked out, saying it matched her eyes, and slipped past the coat check, heart pounding a rhythm of rebellion. She wasn't here to beg for a seat. She was here to claim one, to remind them that love didn't RSVP to exclusion. Spotting the ballroom doors ajar, laughter spilling out like champagne, she paused. Inside, her auntie's voice boomed over the mic. "Family is everything. It's the glue that holds us through storms." Layla's throat tightened. Glue? More like chains, binding them to outdated fears while she dangled on the frayed end. She stepped forward, heels clicking against marble, and pushed through the doors. Heads turned slowly, a ripple of recognition spreading. Her mother, seated at the head table in a sapphire gown, froze mid-sip, eyes widening in horror. Cousin Marcus, beaming from the dance floor, faltered mid-twirl with his bride. The DJ's smooth R&B faded awkwardly as whispers ignited. Is that Layla? What's she doing here? She didn't flinch. Crossing the room with the grace of someone who'd walked through fire, Layla reached the center, where a makeshift stage held the cake, a towering confection of vanilla and fondant roses. "Auntie," she said, voice steady as Lake Michigan's horizon, "you said family is everything. So why am I the storm you're afraid of?" The room hushed, silverware clinking to a stop. Her aunt, face paling under layers of makeup, stammered, "This isn't the time, child. Not here." But Layla had waited long enough. "It's exactly the time. I've missed every wedding, every vow, because my heart beats for a woman. And you know what? That love is fiercer than any you've celebrated here." She pulled out her phone, thumbing open a photo, her and Sophia, arms linked at a pride festival, faces alight with unapologetic joy. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Her mother rose, hand to her chest. "Layla, please."
"No, Mom. Please, you."
The words hung heavy, laced with the ache of years unspoken. Marcus stepped forward, brow furrowed in confusion. "'Cause we didn't know. I mean, I wanted you here." His bride nodded, eyes soft with empathy. For a split second, Layla saw the fracture lines in their perfect facade, the same doubts she'd buried deep. Then chaos. An uncle muttered something about disgrace, chair scraping as relatives shifted uncomfortably. Layla's pulse thundered, but she held her ground, the weight of their stares like rain on her skin. "I'm not here to ruin this," she continued, voice cracking just enough to reveal the girl who'd once dreamed of walking down an aisle in white. "I'm here because love isn't a guest list. It's the uninvited truth that shows up anyway." Sophia's text buzzed again. "On my way. Hold the thunder." Layla smiled faintly, pocketing the phone. The DJ, sensing the tension, queued up a slow jam, Etta James crooning about it last. Couples hesitated, then swayed, the room teetering on the edge of fracture or forgiveness. Layla's aunt clutched her pearls, but her eyes, those sharp, knowing eyes, flickered with something like regret. "You've always been stubborn," she said finally, voice barely above the music. "Like your grandma." Layla nodded, the comparison a balm and a blade. Grandma had sewn those veils, whispered stories of civil rights marches where love crossed every line. "Then let me be," Layla replied. "Let me love without apology." As the song swelled, Marcus pulled her into a hug, whispering, "Your family lie. Always." His bride joined, a tentative bridge across the chasm. But not everyone crossed. Her mother lingered at the table, tears carving paths through powder. Layla approached, the air thick with unsaid sorries. "I didn't raise you for this," her mom whispered, but there was no venom, only the exhaustion of a woman who'd fought her own battles in silence. Layla took her hand, cool and trembling. "You raised me to fight, Mom. For what's right. This is mine." The night blurred into a haze of forced toasts and sidelong glances, Layla dancing with cousins who'd once shared secrets under porch lights. Sophia arrived like a revelation, slipping through the doors in a crimson dress that turned heads, her presence a quiet command. "Heard there's a party," she teased, pulling Layla close. They moved together, bodies sinking to the beat, a living rebuttal to the room's unease. By midnight, as fireworks burst over the Chicago River visible through the windows, Layla felt the shift, a subtle thawing. Not full acceptance, not yet, but the crack of light through stone. She and Sophia slipped out early, laughing into the night air, the city's hum a lullaby to their escape. In the cab ride home, Layla leaned into Sophia's shoulder. "I crashed a wedding tonight," she murmured. "And survived." Sophia kissed her temple. "You owned it, love. What's next, your own?" The words landed like a vow, planting seeds in the fertile soil of Layla's resolve. Little did she know, that next would come sooner than either imagined, and it would demand everything. Weeks melted into months, the incident at the Hyatt becoming family lore, whispered at barbecues, dissected in late-night calls. Layla's mother started texting again. Tentative bridges, recipes shared, photos of blooming irises from the backyard. "Proud of your fire, baby," one read, and signed but unmistakable. Marcus invited them to his place for game nights, his wife baking empanadas that Sophia devoured with glee. Yet the uncles still averted eyes at church, and Auntie's invites remained selective, a polite purgatory. Layla threw herself into work at the center, mentoring teens who mirrored her younger self, wide-eyed and wounded, stitching rainbows from scraps of doubt. Sophia's studio flourished, her designs gracing queer zines and protest posters, their apartment a sanctuary of pinned maps and half-finished canvases. Nights found them tangled in sheets, tracing constellations on skin, whispering futures where family wasn't a battlefield. One crisp October evening, as leaves skittered across Lincoln Park like confetti, Sophia knelt by the fireplace, a velvet box open in her palm. "Layla James, you've crashed into my world and made it whole. Marry me, not for them, but for us." The ring, a simple gold band etched with intertwined vines, caught the firelight. Layla's yes was a sob, a laugh, a reclamation. They celebrated with cheap champagne and Aretha on the turntable, bodies swaying until dawn. Planning the wedding became their rebellion wrapped in romance. No grand Hyatt for them. They chose a rooftop in Pilsen, where murals splashed color across brick walls and the skyline pierced the sky like a promise. Guests, the center kids, Sophia's bohemian crew, a smattering of open-hearted cousins. Layla's mother RSVP'd with a shaky yes, but the extended clan? Silent as graves. "They'll come around," Sophia said, but Layla's heart knew better, the ache of exclusion a ghost that lingered. Dresses were selected in a frenzy of fittings. Layla's a flowing ivory gown with lace sleeves evoking her grandma's veil, Sophia's a sapphire sheath that hugged her curves like an embrace. Vows penned in stolen moments, laced with poetry, Sophia's words about roots entwining in cracked concrete, Layla's about storms that cleared to rainbows. The menu: soul food fusion, collards with a kick of adobo, cornbread muffins studded with chilies. Every detail screamed them, unapologetic, intertwined. But as the date loomed, June 15th, under a canopy of string lights and wildflowers, doubts crept in like fog off the lake. Layla's father called, voice gravelly from disuse. "Heard about the event. Your mother's beside herself." No blessing, just the weight of his absence. An uncle emailed a Bible verse on unnatural affections, deleted unread. At a final dress rehearsal, Layla stared at her reflection, the gown pooling like spilled milk. "What if no one shows?" she whispered to Sophia in the mirror. Sophia turned her, hands firm on hips. "Then it's just us under the stars, and that's enough. But love, it pulls people in, even the reluctant." Her kiss sealed it, fierce and flavoring with the salt of unshed fears. The week before, Marcus texted, "Whole crew's debating. Give M time." Layla didn't. She compiled a video, clips of their life, hands clasped at protests, laughter over burnt dinners, quiet mornings with coffee and crosswords. Narration in her voice. This is love. Not the kind you invite or ignore, but the kind that arrives, unbidden and unbreakable. She sent it to every relative, no note, just the file titled Our Vow. Responses trickled. A like from a distant aunt, a thumbs-up emoji from a second cousin. Her mother called, sobbing. "It's beautiful, lie. But the family." Layla cut in gently. "Come see it live, Mom." "See me." Silence, then a whisper. "We're trying." The morning of, Chicago awoke to a rare blue sky, humidity hanging like anticipation. Layla paced the apartment, bouquet of sunflowers trembling in her grip, symbols of loyalty, her quiet armor. Sophia, radiant in makeup half done, pulled her down for a grounding kiss. "Ready to make history?" Layla's nod was prayer and pledge. They arrived at the rooftop as guests filtered in, 20 strong, a mosaic of souls who'd chosen them. The officiant, a non-binary elder from the center, waited with a grin. Music swelled. Nina Simone's Feeling Good, notes lifting like birds. Layla walked the aisle first, gravel crunching under heels, eyes scanning empty corners where family might appear. Sophia followed, veil fluttering, her gaze locking on Layla's like a lifeline. Vows exchanged in voices thick with emotion. Sophia's, in your defiance, I find my home. Layla's, your light scatters my shadows. Rings slid on, sealing eternity. The kiss, deep, unhurried, drew cheers, petals raining down like blessings. Then, the unthinkable. As applause faded, Layla stepped to the mic, Sophia's hand in hers. We planned this for us, she said, voice carrying over the city hum. But love doesn't stop at doorsteps. So tonight, we open ours. She nodded to Marcus, who emerged from the stairwell, her mother trailing, eyes red-rimmed. Behind them, auntie, uncles hesitant, but here. Gasps rippled. Sophia squeezed her hand, pride blooming. Layla's mother approached, arms outstretched. You didn't wait for us, she murmured, hugging tight. You showed us how. The uncle who'd sent the verse hung back, then stepped forward, mumbling. Beautiful ceremony, niece. Not perfect, but presence, a crack widened to canyon. The reception unfolded in waves of tentative joy, toasts clinking, dances where old feuds thawed in two steps. Layla's father arrived late, Ty Askew, offering a gruff, proud of you, kid. Sophia pulled him onto the floor, laughter bridging gaps. Under the stars, as cake was cut and stories swapped, Layla realized the unthinkable wasn't crashing a wedding. It was building one that crashed through walls, inviting the uninvited not with pleas, but with the sheer force of lived love. Years later, at family gatherings, now routine, if scarred, Layla's veil hung in her mother's hall, a relic reborn. She and Sophia adopted a daughter, her curls a wild echo of Layla's youth, teaching her that family wasn't blood's monopoly, but love's democracy. And on quiet nights, replaying that rooftop video, Layla would whisper to Sophia, "We did the impossible." Sophia's reply always, "No, love. We just showed up." The afterglow of that June evening lingered like the scent of wildflowers pressed between pages, but life, as it does, swept in with its unyielding current. Layla and Sophia's honeymoon was a whirlwind road trip down Route 66, trading Chicago's steel for desert sunsets in New Mexico, where they parked the convertible under star-drenched skies and made love in the bed of a truck, the universe their only witness. "This is us," Sophia murmured against Layla's neck, fingers tracing the curve of her hip. No lists, no judgments, just horizon. Layla laughed, the sound free and full, pulling her closer. For the first time, forever felt tangible, not a fragile dream. Back home, the apartment swelled with unpacked boxes of wedding gifts, crystal vases from the center kids, a hand-stitched quilt from Sophia's abuela, who'd flown in last minute with tamales and tears. Work pulled them in opposite directions. Layla's days filled with grant proposals for expanded youth programs, Sophia's nights blurring into deadlines for a queer art collective exhibit. Yet evenings were sacred. Dinners of takeout tie on the fire escape, debating baby names over wine, their laughter echoing off brick walls. But the family's thaw was tentative, like spring ice on the lake, beautiful, but prone to cracking. Layla's mother's calls grew warmer, laced with questions about "that wife of yours," a term delivered with half smile, half stutter. They hosted a barbecue that August, the backyard grill smoking with ribs and plantains, cousins arriving in waves. Uncle Ray, the verse sender, clapped Layla on the back too hard, muttering about modern times, his eyes avoiding Sophia's. Auntie brought her famous peach cobbler, but sat rigid during grace, as if words of thanks might summon lightning. Marcus, ever the peacemaker, shuttled plates and jokes, his bride whispering to Layla, Give 'em time. They're dinosaurs learning to dance. Sophia handled it with grace sharper than Layla's fire, deflecting barbs with wit, drawing shy smiles from the elders with sketches of their grandkids. Your magic, Layla told her one night, had pillowed on her chest, heartbeat a steady drum. Sophia's fingers carded through her curls. Nah, just stubborn. Like you. They made love then, slow and deliberate, reclaiming the space between vulnerability and victory. Fall brought changes. Layla got promoted to program director, her vision for a safe house for queer runaways greenlit by the board. Celebrations at a dive bar in Andersonville turned rowdy, shots of tequila loosening tongues, Sophia challenging Layla to a dance-off on the sticky floor. Bet I can make you blush, Sophia teased, hips swaying to a remix of WAP. Layla, cheeks aflame, pulled her into a corner booth, kissing her until the world narrowed to breath and heat. You win every time, she gasped, and meant it in every way. Yet shadows lingered. A holiday card from her father's sister arrived, beautifully scripted, but addressed to Layla and guest, the erasure a paper cut. Layla's response was a family album she curated, photos from the wedding, candids of rooftop hugs, Sophia's hand on her swelling belly, a secret shared only with close friends, the IVF journey a quiet battle they'd waged for months. This is our family, the caption read. No reply came, but the silence felt less hostile, more like space for growth. Winter hit hard, Chicago's bite turning commutes to ordeals, but their home glowed with string lights and the promise of new life. Ultrasounds revealed a girl, tiny heartbeat flickering like Morse code for joy. They named her Amara, eternal, unbreakable. Nursery walls painted in soft pastels, bookshelves stocked with tales of fierce women. Audre Lorde, bell hooks, stories where love won without apology. Pregnancy softened Layla's edges, hormones a tide of tenderness and terror. Mornings found her nauseous over the sink, Sophia rubbing circles on her back, brewing ginger tea with whispers of, "You've got this, mama." They attended birthing classes in a converted warehouse, surrounded by other queer couples, hands clasped through breathing exercises. Our village, Sophia called them, and Layla clung to that, especially when her mother visited, hands hovering uncertainly over the bump. She'll have your spirit, her mom said, voice thick. And your wife's smile. Progress, inch by inch. Spring thawed the city, and with it, fractures mended further. Auntie called out of the blue. Cobbler recipe? Amara might like it someday. Layla sent it, plus a sonogram photo, heart emoji attached. The reply, beautiful, like her mother's. Tears came then, hot and healing, shared over FaceTime with Sophia at her side. But kitsch tin brewed in subtler storms. At a center fundraiser, a donor, silver-haired and suit-clad, cornered Layla, voice oily. Wonderful work, but perhaps toned down the personal elements? Families give more to tradition. Rage simmered, but Sophia, overhearing, slid in like silk. Tradition evolves, sir. Or it crumbles. Her portfolio under his nose, designs for the event, bold and unyielding. He backed off, mumbling praise. Later, in the car, Layla gripped the wheel white-knuckled. How do you do that? Stay calm. Sophia's hand covered hers. I don't. I just love you too much to let them dim us. Summer swelled Amara's kicks into symphonies, Layla's body a vessel of wonder and weariness. They escaped to a cabin in Wisconsin, lakeside and leafy, where days blurred into swims and sunsets. One evening, fireflies dancing like living stars, Sophia proposed a vow renewal, not formal, just them, rings exchanged again under the moon. To remind us, she said, that unthinkable isn't once, it's every day. Layla agreed, tears salting the water as they waded in, naked and new. Labor came fierce in September, a midnight rush to the hospital, contractions like waves crashing. Sophia coached through the pain. Breathe with me, love. while Layla's mother waited in the hall, wringing hands. Amara arrived at dawn, wailing indignant, tiny fists clenched like her mother's. Sophia cut the cord, eyes shining. Layla held her first, skin to skin, whispering, "Welcome, warrior." Her mom entered then, cooing over the bundle. "My grandbaby."
Oh, lie.
The hug that followed bridged years, forgiveness in the fold. Postpartum haze wrapped them in cocoons of feedings and folds, Amara's cries a siren song. Family visits dotted the weeks, Marcus with diapers and dad jokes, Andy with knitted booties and stories of Layla's infancy. Uncle Ray even showed, awkward with a teddy bear mumbling, "She's got your eyes, niece. Strong ones." Not all came, father's absence a dull ache, but those who did carried the weight of choice, their presence a quiet revolution. One crisp October afternoon, as Amara napped in her swing, Layla and Sophia sat on the balcony, coffee steaming. The city sprawled below, alive with possibility. "We built this," Layla said, head on Sophia's shoulder. "From uninvited to unbreakable." Sophia kissed her forehead. "And we'll keep building. For her. For us." In that moment, love wasn't just a feeling. It was the foundation, cracked but standing, ready for whatever storm came next. Amara's first Christmas was a tapestry of firsts, her gummy smile at twinkling lights, chubby hands grasping ornaments like treasures. The tree, a Fraser for hauled from a lot in Logan Square, bowed under baubles collected from thrift shops and travels, a rainbow star from their honeymoon, a tiny adobe house from Sophia's abuela. Layla strung popcorn garlands, Amara gurgling approval from her bouncer, while Sophia blasted Motown classics, hips swaying as she piped icing on gingerbread. "Look at us," Sophia laughed, flour dusting her nose. "Domestic queens." Layla pulled her close, Amara between them, the warmth a shield against the wind rattling the windows. Family dynamics shifted like sand dunes, ebbing and flowing. Layla's mother became a fixture, arriving with casseroles and unsolicited advice. "Don't let her sleep in your bed. It'll spoil her." But her eyes softened when Amara latched on, a grandmother's wonder eclipsing old prides. They hosted Christmas Eve, the apartment aglow, turkey alongside tamales, collards spiced with cumin. Uncle Ray showed with a sleigh full of toys, his gruff, "Merry whatever," masking a thaw. Auntie regaled with tales of back in my day, but paused to coo over Amara's curls, "Just like yours, lie wild and wonderful." Not all edges smoothed. Layla's father sent a check, for the little one. No card, no visit. The sting lingered, a bruise pressed in quiet moments. Sophia noticed always, slipping notes into Layla's coat. "You're enough. We're enough." Her quiet ferocity was Layla's compass, pointing true when doubts veered. New Year's brought resolutions and revelations. At a queer ball in Boys Town, sequins and suits swirling under disco balls, they danced until sweat slicked, Amara with a sitter. To more unthinkables, Sophia toasted with Prosecco, clinking glasses. Layla grinned. Like another baby? The idea had simmered since summer, a sibling for Amara's adventures. They dove into consultations, navigating the emotional minefield of donors and dreams, hope a fragile bloom. Spring unfurled with Amara's milestones, first steps wobbling across the living room rug, first word, mama, aimed at both, a blur of bias and bliss. Layla's center expanded, the safe house breaking ground in Englewood, a beacon funded by gala grants and grassroots grit. Sophia's exhibit toured, her art, portraits of queer families in bold strokes, drawing crowds and critics. "You're changing the canvas," Layla whispered at the opening, pride swelling as strangers wept before Sophia's work. But kitsch tin stirred in summer's heat. A center teen, Jamie, a trans kid with fire in her eyes, ran after a family blow-up, echoing Layla's ghosts. Layla found her huddled in an alley, backpack clutched like armor. "They said I'm not their daughter anymore," Jamie sobbed. Layla's heart cracked. She sat on the curb, sharing stories of her own exclusions. You're exactly who you are. And that's daughter enough. They walked back together, Jamie crashing on their couch, Amara offering a stuffed elephant as truce. The incident rippled home. Layla's mother, hearing over dinner, stiffened. It's not the same, lie. Blood's blood. Sophia's fork paused midair. Love's thicker, though. Isn't it? Silence stretched, taut as wire, until her mom sighed. Maybe you're right. God knows I've been wrong before. The admission hung, a milestone marked in mashed potatoes and mercy. Fall deepened bonds. They took Amara to the lakefront, kites soaring like dreams, her shrieks of delight a soundtrack to their picnics. Sophia sketched the scene, charcoal smudging fingers, while Layla chased bubbles, laughter loosening knots. This is the life we fought for, Sophia said, capturing Amara's grin. Layla nodded, throat tight. And the one we'll protect. Winter whispered warnings. Jamie settled into the safe house, but backlash brewed. Protests at the groundbreaking, slurs scrawled on signs. Layla faced the media, voice steady. These kids deserve homes, not hate. Sophia stood beside her, portfolio in hand, designing counterart that went viral. Murals of intertwined hands under rainbows. The community rallied, celebrities donating, the center's walls rising stronger. Yet, personal storms gathered. Layla's father called, voice cracking. Saw you on the news. That safe place. It's good. Pause, heavy. Thinking of visiting. If. You know. Layla gripped the phone, Amara babbling nearby.
Doors open, Dad.
Always has been.
Click.
Hope flickered, fragile as snowflakes. Amara's second birthday was a carnival of chaos, balloons popping, cakes smeared on cheeks, cousins piling in with gifts and glee. Auntie baked the cake, 3 tiers of chocolate decadence, and even danced to Happy Birthday remix, her hips surprising loose. Uncle Ray hoisted Amara on shoulders, her giggles a bridge. Layla's mother captured it all on video, later texting, "My heart's full, baby." That night, as Amara slept sugar-crashed, Layla and Sophia slipped to the balcony. City lights a sea below. Another year, Sophia murmured, hand on Layla's belly. IVF round 2 underway, a secret spark. Think he'll come? Layla asked, nodding to the skyline where her father lived miles away. Sophia's squeeze was answer. If not, we keep inviting. Like always. Spring bloomed with blue lines on tests, twins, boys this time, a double miracle. Ultrasounds hummed with heartbeats, duet of life. They shared with family over brunch, mimosas bubbling. Her mother's gasp turned to hugs. Marcus hooped, planning uncle duties. Father texted, congrats. Coming soon. Summer swelled bellies and anticipation, Amara's brothers, a chant in her play. The safe house opened, ribbon cut amid cheers, Jamie the first resident, key in hand. You saved me, she whispered to Layla. Nah, Layla replied, you saved yourself. We just held the light. Labor for the twins came in August fury, a hospital blur of pushes and praises. Sophia coached, sweat beaded. Layla's mother held Amara in the waiting room. Kai and Jaden arrived, wrinkled and roaring, tiny fists fighting air. Father walked in then, hesitant in the doorway, eyes locking on the bundles. Grandkids, he rasped, stepping close. Layla nodded, tears blurring. Yours too, Dad. His hand on Kai's head was absolution, rough and real. Postpartum doubled the delirium. Feedings tag-teamed, nights a relay of rockings. Family rotated in, auntie with stews, uncle with stories, mother with lullabies long forgotten. Sophia's abuela flew up, her rosary beads clicking prayers over cribs. The apartment pulsed with noise and nurture, love's loud symphony. One golden September dawn, as the boys nursed and Amara colored rainbows, Layla looked at Sophia across the chaos. We did the unthinkable again, she said softly. Multiplied it. Sophia's smile was sunrise. And it'll keep growing. Uninvited, unstoppable. The twins' arrival turned their world into a beautiful bedlam, days dissolving into a rhythm of diapers and drool, nights fractured by cries that pierced like sirens. Layla and Sophia tag-teamed with the precision of old dance partners, Sophia handling midnight feeds while Layla wrestled Amara's bedtime stories into epics of brave queens. The apartment, once a sleek haven, now brimmed with bassinets and burp cloths, toys migrating like nomadic tribes across floors. Yet in the exhaustion, there was ecstasy. Kai's first coo echoing Jaden's, Amara's proud baby, as she patted their heads, the family they'd woven thread by resilient thread. Work adapted, a village rising. The center offered Layla flexible hours, colleagues dropping off lasagnas and Lego sets. Sophia's studio shifted to freelance, her laptop perched on a high chair for quick sketches between spit-up sessions. "This is our masterpiece," she'd say, capturing the boys' cherubic faces in quick watercolors, Amara smudging colors beside her. Layla would watch, heart swelling, the canvas a testament to their tangled lives. Family involvement deepened, roots seeking soil. Layla's father became a weekend regular, his truck pulling up with fishing poles and fast food bribes. "Teach 'em nuts," he'd gruff, hands calloused from factory shifts guiding tiny fingers. Amara called him Papa Fish, the nickname sticking like glue. Over backyard grills, he'd share fragments, stories of his own youth, marching for rights in the 60s, loves unspoken in shadows. "I was scared, he admitted one dusk, smoke curling from burgers. "Of losing you like I lost parts of me." Layla squeezed his shoulder, words unnecessary. The presence spoke volumes. Her mother dove in deeper, grandmotherhood a redemption arc. She hosted playdates in her South Side bungalow, the kitchen alive with pie crusts and puzzles. "Your auntie's coming next week," she'd announce, and true to form, the woman arrived with quilts and qualms melting into Amara's hugs. Even Uncle Ray softened, his Bible now sharing shelf space with board books, quoting Proverbs on wisdom over wrath. "Family's a circle," he'd say, bouncing Jaden. "Sometimes you gotta redraw the lines. But not without bumps." A cousin's wedding invite arrived, elegant vellum, but the +1 line blank, a subtle snub. Layla stared at it over coffee, steam blurring ink. Sophia peeked, jaw tightening. "Burn it." Layla shook her head.
No.
"We go. Show them twins in ties." They did, Kai and Jaden in mini bow ties, Amara scattering petals like a tiny herald. Heads turned, whispers hushed as they entered the venue. A garden affair in Oak Park, roses rioting under arches. Cousins cooed over the babies, aunties pinched cheeks, but the bride's father, a holdout holdover, muttered to his wife, "Pity the kids." Sophia overheard, fire flashing, but Layla laid a hand on her arm. "Let love be the loudest." The dance floor called. They swayed with infants bundled, Amara twirling between legs. Marcus pulled Layla aside. "You're brave, cuz. Wish I'd invited you sooner to mine." His hug lingered, a brother's vow. By night's end, as fireworks popped overhead, Layla's father, invited last minute, clinked glasses with Sophia. "To in-laws," he toasted, the word a bridge crossed. Fall brought fevers and first colds, the boys' sniffles a symphony of worry. Layla paced ER halls at 2 a.m., Sophia rocking Kai, Jaden in her arms. "They're fighters," the doctor assured, but the scare etched lines of fragility. Emerging into dawn, bundled against chill, Layla leaned on Sophia. "What if I can't protect them from everything?" Sophia's kiss was fierce. "You don't have to alone. We're the net." Home. They collapsed into a puppy pile. Amara's snores a lullaby, love's labor unyielding. Holiday lights twinkled into resolutions. The center's holiday drive packed the safe house pantry, Jamie, now a mentor herself, organizing with teen flair. "Like family," she said, hugging Layla. Sophia donated art for auctions, proceeds funding scholarships. Their own celebration swelled, Quinceañera lit with father's kin, Noche Buena feasts with abuela's recipes, Christmas chaos with stockings stuffed by Andy. Winter's grip loosened to spring's tease, the twins rolling like roly-polies, Amara's ABCs a triumphant chant. Layla enrolled in a leadership retreat, weekends away honing her voice for bigger stages, TEDx talks on queer resilience, panels on intersectional families. You're a force, Sophia cheered from the front row, boys on laps, Amara waving pom-poms. Accolades poured in, but imposter syndrome nipped heels. Who am I to speak? Layla confessed post-talk. Sophia's retort, the woman who rewrote invitations. Summer sizzled with vacations, a Great Lakes cabin, water wings, and watermelon seeds. Amara swam like a minnow, the boys splashed from floats, laughter rippling across waves. Father joined for a week, teaching whittling, his knife carving ducks from pine. For the boys, he said, eyes misty. Evenings around campfires, stories flowed. His courtship of Layla's mom, tentative and tender, Sophia's abuela's migration tales, spices in suitcases. Bonds braised in embers. Back in the city, a curveball, Sophia's exhibit caught a gallery eye, a solo show in New York. 2 weeks, she said, excitement edged with ache. Layla masked worry with whoops, but nights found her tracing empty pillows. Go conquer, she urged at the airport, kids waving from carriers. Solo parenting sharpened edges, schedules juggled, baths battled, but pride swelled with each FaceTime, Sophia beaming amid canvases. Miss my muses. Her return was reunion fireworks, airport dash with balloons, bodies colliding in hugs. Brought souvenirs, Sophia grinned, unveiling sketches of skyline queens, Layla and the kids, fierce and framed. That night, after bedtime battles, they slipped to the roof, city humming below. You're my horizon, Layla whispered, stars pricking sky. Sophia's hand in hers. And you're the pull. Fall harvested growth. Amara started preschool, backpack bouncing, tears drying to waves. The boys babbled bilingual, English laced with Spanish from abuela's visits. Layla's talk went viral, invites flooding, podcasts on parenting queerly, workshops on mending family rifts. From uninvited to unavoidable, a host quipped, and Layla laughed, owning the arc. Winter whispered of expansion, the safe house adding a daycare wing, funded by a donor touched by her story. Groundbreaking under snow flurries, family shoveling side by side. Father with spade, mother with mittens, Andy cheering. Jamie cut the ribbon, voice steady. This is home because of you. As spring buds pushed through frost, Layla reflected in her journal, Amara's crayons scattered like confetti. The unthinkable had multiplied, not just in children, but in circles widened, walls tumbled. Sophia peeked over her shoulder. What's next? Layla smiled, closing the book. More us. Always more. The preschool drop-offs became ritual, Amara's small hand in Layla's larger one, backpack swinging like a pendulum of independence. Bye, Mama, she'd chirp, dashing into the fray of finger paints and friendships, leaving Layla with a hollow ache that filled as quickly as it formed. The twins, still homebound, filled days with blocks and babble, their duality a delightful duel. Kai the thinker, stacking towers to teetering heights, Jaden the doer, toppling them with gleeful gusto. Sophia captured it all in a family mural for the nursery wall, for figures under a rainbow arch, hands linked across chaos. Work's whirlwind intensified. Layla's TEDx clip birthed a book deal, Memoirs of Mending, pitched as Uninvited No More. Deadlines loomed like thunderheads, nights blurring into keystrokes, Coffee, her co-pilot. You're writing our legacy, Sophia encouraged, rubbing shoulders knotted from laptop hunch. Layla paused mid-sentence, pulling her onto the couch amid scattered notes. This is your story too. Sophia's kiss was affirmation, soft and sure. Every page. Family threads wove tighter. Father's visits evolved to overnights, his snores rumbling from the guest futon, Mornings met with pancakes flipped by his steady hand. Like old times, he'd say, though the old times held ghosts, now they layered new memories, fishing at Jackson Park, lines cast with lessons on patience. Amara dubbed him storyteller-in-chief, begging for yarns of the Big War, his factory days, embellished for tiny ears. Layla's mother hosted monthly suppers, tables groaning under roasts and relishes, Auntie adding empanadas from Sophia's influence. Uncle Ray even cracked a joke about those two little fellas stealing my thunder, his laugh rusty but real. Yet undercurrents stirred. A center board meeting turned tense, budgets tight, a conservative donor pushing neutral programming, code for erasure. Layla pushed back, voice velvet over steel. Our kids need mirrors, not masks. The room polarized, votes splitting like fault lines. Victory came narrow, but the toll lingered, sleepless nights questioning her fire's cost. Sophia found her at dawn, staring at ceiling cracks. You're the spark they fear, she murmured, drawing her into Dawn's embrace. And the one that lights us all. Summer scorched with opportunities. The book tour kicked off in Chicago's indie bookstores, readings packed with queer kin and curious straights. Amara tagged along to one, perched on Layla's lap, reading, along with dramatic flair. Q&A delved deep. How do you forgive? A young woman asked, eyes haunted. Layla paused, Sophia's hand grounding from the wings. You don't. You make space for them to earn it. And you love louder in the meantime. Applause thundered, but the question echoed home, prompting a letter to the cousin who'd snubbed their invite. Gentle, granting grace without forgetting. Vacation called. A train trek to New Orleans, jazz humming through windows, kids wide-eyed at beignet-dusted sugar white. They wandered the quarter, hands linked over strollers, Amara twirling to street fiddles, the boys gurgling at gumbo steam. Father's tales of Mardi Gras mingled with Sophia's ghost tours, laughter layering over history's haunt. One bayou evening, fireflies winking, Layla and Sophia slipped away, kids asleep in the RV. Remember our first road trip? Sophia whispered. Moss-draped oaks their cathedral. Layla's yes was a sigh, bodies reuniting under stars, love's language unspoken but fluent. Fall's harvest included heartaches. Jamie faced a custody skirmish, bio-family resurfacing with regrets and restrictions. Layla testified, voice unwavering in court. She's chosen her path, and it's paved with family that sees her. Victory for Jamie, but the drain was deep. She crashed at their place post-hearing, Amara offering hugs like healing potions. Auntie Jamie's strong, the girl declared, and in her certainty, adults found footing. Holidays heightened hues. Thanksgiving tables merged traditions, turkey with mole, Canara candles flickering beside menorah stubs from Sophia's Jewish friend circle. Father carved, mother blessed, Auntie led toasts to the grandbabies and their mamas. Uncle Ray quoted grace without verse, his nod to Sophia, a quiet covenant. New Year's Eve, they bundled to the lakefront, fireworks blooming over ice, kids bundled in wonder. To unthinkables multiplied, Layla toasted, champagne fizzing like futures. Winter wrapped in wonder. First snowman toppled by twins' tackles, Amara's sled runs shrieking joy. Layla's book dropped to acclaim, signings swelling with stories, readers hugging her, whispering, "You gave me words for my silence." A podcast invite led to tears, sharing the Hyatt crash, voice breaking on, "I showed up anyway." Listeners flooded inboxes. Thank you for the courage. Spring sparked expansions. The center's daycare opened, Jamie directing with diploma fresh. Sophia's mural commission, a community wall of queer icons, drew crowds, brushes flying under her lead. Layla joined for a day, paint splattered with kids, Amara daubing rainbows. Art's like family, Sophia said, wiping a streak from her cheek. Messy, but it sticks. Summer simmered with sibling synergy. The boys crawling conspiracies, Amara's big sis, bossing with benevolence. A family reunion beckoned, Annie's farm in Indiana. Acres of corn whispering welcomes. They caravanned, father's truck tailing their van, laughter leaking from windows. Barbecue sprawled under tents, ribs smoked slow, stories swapped in circles. The cousin from the wedding approached Layla, beer in hand. I was wrong. About the invite. About us. Her hug was olive branch. Layla returned it, roots reaching. Evenings cooled to cricket choruses, kids chasing lightning bugs, elders on porches with pie. Father and Sophia bonded over chess, his strategies schooling her flair. She's got your fight, he told Layla later, stars wheeling above. Lucky you. Dawn drives home hummed with harmony, the unthinkable now tradition. Fall's foliage framed first days, twins toddling to daycare, Amara's kindergarten jitters eased by Sophia's backpack treat. Layla's sequel brewed, chapters on legacy. One leaf-strewn park picnic, as boys chased balls and Amara read aloud, Sophia leaned in. Another chapter? Layla grinned, hand on heart. With you? Endless. Kindergarten drop-offs evolved into epic tales, Amara's backpack now a behemoth of crayons and confidence, her I got this, mamas, a mantra that melted Layla's reservations. The twins, in daycare's din, thrived on chaos, Kai architecting block empires, Jaden liberating toys from shelves with impish intent. Home became command center, schedules synced via shared apps, Sophia's freelance flexibility the glue. We're a well-oiled circus, she'd quip, juggling sippy cups and sketches, Layla retorting with a kiss. Best ringmaster. The book's success snowballed. Oprah's book club whisper turned to whirlwind tours, flights to coasts where audiences hung on her every uninvited. Layla shared stages with activists, voices amplifying. A trans elder on survival, a bi mom on blending worlds. Backstage, Sophia waited with kids' drawings, stick figure families under suns, grounding her in the real. Fame's fleeting, Sophia said post-panel, hotel robes loose. This is forever. Their lovemaking that night was anchor, bodies mapping familiar shores. Family's fabric frilled further. Father's retirement loosed him into grandpa mode full-time, his garage workshop churning wooden trains for the boys. Puzzles for Amara. Keeps me young, he'd grunt, sawdust and beard, but his eyes betrayed the mending. Old wounds scarred to strength. Mother's Bible study group evolved, inviting Sophia for diversity discussions, her designs sparking talks on grace beyond verses. Auntie hosted mama brunches, mimosas and memoirs, where Layla fielded questions on how you knew. Love doesn't announce, she'd say. It arrives. Uncle Ray's transformation tickled. He joined a PFLAG chapter, his testimonials halting but heartfelt. My niece showed me God's bigger than my fears. At reunions, he'd pull Layla aside. Proud, kid. Real proud. The cousin's apology bloomed into alliance. Playdates at her place, her kids adoring the twins' tag team tackles. Yet trials tempered triumphs. A donor pullout hit the center hard, funds frozen over controversial programming. Layla rallied, grant writing marathons fueled by vending machine snacks, Sophia illustrating proposals with hopeful hues. Protests flared again, countersigns clashing at gates, slurs shouted over chants. One night, post-rally, eggs splattered their car, yolk dripping like tears. Home, kids asleep, Layla shattered a mug, shards of fury. When does it stop? Sophia swept quietly, then held her. It doesn't. But we don't either. Dawn brought strategy sessions, allies amplified, the safe house standing defiant. Summer solstice sang of sibling synergy, Amara's swim lessons splashing with twin splutters, family floats down the Chicago River under July 4th booms. Vacation veered west, Yellowstone's geysers gushing like their giggles, bison ambling past RVs. Father hiked with the boys on back, Amara scouting treasures with Sophia's lens. Campfire confessions flowed, his regrets over silence, Layla's forgiveness forged in flames. You showed up late, she teased, marshmallows toasting. But you showed. Fall's frolic included first heartbreaks, Amara's playground, boyfriend, switching allegiances, tears tumbling over ice cream. "He doesn't see you yet," Layla soothed Sophia, adding, "The right ones will chase your light." The boys' birthday bash ballooned. Dinosaur themes, cousins in costumes, cake carnage epic. Father officiated piñata wax, candy avalanche cheers. Holidays harmonized. Halloween haunts, family matching as superheroes, Amara's cape fluttering as Wonder Woman, twins toddling as mini MES. Thanksgivings layered, gratitude circles where Amara listed mama's hugs, Jaden babbled boom for fireworks past. Christmas carols carried father's baritone, mother's harmonies, auntie's tambourine rattle. New Year's, they toasted with sparkling cider, kids fizzing with bubbles, resolutions whispered. More presents, less perfection. Winter wove wonders, sledding slopes slick with screams, hot cocoa mustaches on twins' faces. Layla's sequel surged, chapters closing on legacy loops, how Unthinkable circle back to teach. A publisher party in Manhattan, kids in tow, Sophia schmoozing sketches, Amara charming editors with recitals. Future author, they cooed, Layla beamed, or activist. Or both. Spring's surge saw expansions. The center's wing ribbon cut amid rainbows, Jamie's speech soaring. From alleys to anchors, thanks to love that invited itself. Sophia's gallery show sold out, pieces of their life, family portraits in oil, fetching fans who recognized Layla from books. "Your story's in these strokes," a buyer said, and Sophia nodded. "Ours is shared ink." Summer simmered scandals. A tabloid tittered, queer icons family feud fizzles. Sensational slop from a cousin's loose lips. Layla ignored, but ripples reached. Father's call furious. "They dragged us all." United, they issued a statement, joint joyful. "Our family's feuds faded to feasts. Love wins quiet." Backlash boomerang to support, book sales spiking, center donations doubling. Vacation to beaches, Florida's sands, shells collected like secrets, Amara's sandcastles crowned with conch queens. The boys buried feet in foam, father building moats. Evenings, waves lapping, Sophia and Layla walked barefoot, toes entwining in surf. 10 years since the crash, Sophia mused. Layla pulled her close, salt on lips. And every crash led here. Fall's fiesta, Amara's school play, her tree sprite stealing scenes, family front row whooping. Twins' terrible twos tantrumed, but timeouts turned to tickles. Layla's launch party packed the bookstore, signings stretching to street, readers sharing scars. One elder, tears tracing wrinkles. "You gave me permission to invite my daughter back." Layla's hug held histories. Winter's whisper, a surprise pregnancy scare, negative, but the want lingered, IVF whispers renewed. Instead, they fostered short-term, a teen mom navigating transition, her baby cooing with the crew. Temporary aunties, Amara declared, and in the chaos, permanence bloomed. As spring petals unfurled, Layla journaled by window, city awakening. Sophia joined, chin on shoulder. Chapters turning? Layla smiled, pen pausing.
No.
It's the whole book now, unthinkable, unwritten, ours. The foster stint stretched serendipity. A month became 3, the teen mom, Riley, blooming under guidance, her infant's gurgles syncing with the boy's barks, a puppy adopted postplay, Amara's plea. Nights deepened with double duties, Layla rocking wee ones while Sophia strummed lullabies, guitar soft. "We're naturals," Sophia yawned, exhaustion etched endearing. Layla kissed her brow. Or, just in love enough to stretch. Book tours tailwind trailed accolades, a human rights campaign award, gala gowns and glitter, kids curbside in tuxes tiny. Layla's speech sliced. "Uninvited taught me, show up, stay seen. For the kids who'll never know exclusion sting." Applause crashed like waves, Sophia's proud gaze her beacon, family clustered, father dapper and bow tie, mother misty-eyed, auntie snapping pics. Uncle Ray cornered a donor. "My niece is the real deal." Post-ceremony, after-party danced into dawn, twins dozing in carriers, Amara spinning skirts. Family's full weave included Riley's right, her high school equivalency, cap tossed amid cheers, Layla and Sophia front row with bouquets. You gave me ground. Riley hugged, baby on hip. Graduation morphed to goodbye barbecue, tears toasting transitions. Visit anytime, Layla urged. Riley nodded. Families not addresses. Summer symphony, puppy parades, park picnics where Amara read to neighborhood kids, her stories spun from bookmom's tales. Twins tackled tag with terrier tenacity, father refereeing with whistles whittled. Vacation veered north. Mackinac Island's bikes and fudge, no cars hum, just hoofbeats and harmony. Amara pedaled princess style, boys in trailers giggling gales, Sophia sketching fairies. Evenings on porches, More sticky, fathers fiddling folk tunes, Sophia harmonizing harmonies. Falls flourish. School years spark, Amara's essays on My Two Mamas, teachers tearing up. Layla's center hosted a summit, queer families forging futures, panels packed with parents like them. Jamie moderated, voice velvet. From fringes to families, we're the future. Sophia's installations flanked stages, art echoing advocacy. Yet autumn's amber hid hurdles. Father's health hiccup, a routine check flagging heart flutters, forcing checkups and chills. Layla drove him, silence heavy as highways. Scared, she asked softly. His nod nodded to vulnerability. Of missing more. Her hand on gearshift. You've caught up. And we're pacing together. Tests cleared to cautions, but the scare spurred stories. His courtship letters to mother, yellowed and yearning. Love's a risk, he said, eyes on road. Worth every beat. Holidays heightened hearts. Halloween's haunt, matching as atoms, Amara's Morticia mincing, twins Pugsley pudgy. Thanksgiving's table groaned global, Abuela's influence in yams, father's venison from hunts. Gratitude game, Amara's puppy paws, boys' burbles, aunties, your book's blessing. Christmas caroled with carolers, Uncle Ray's bass booming bass. New Year's, rooftop under resolutions, fireworks framing faces, family full, frames forever. Winter's waltz, snow sculptures sculpted by small hands, hot toddies for grown. Layla's sequel submitted, editors' emails ecstatic, raw, resonant. A film option flickered, Hollywood calling for screenplays. Our crash on celluloid? Sophia mused, popcorn popping. Layla laughed, as long as it's us directing. Spring sprint, Amara's science fair volcano erupting cheers, twins potty parades triumphant. The center's anniversary gala glittered, donors dazzled by Jamie's keynote. Sophia's solo exhibit in Soho soared, Layla flying family for opening, cabs crammed, critiques raved. Your heart's on these walls, Layla whispered amid minglers. Sophia's wink, and yours holds it. Summer surge, foster farewell to Riley, now rooming with relatives redeemed, her send-off supper sung with songs. Puppies park antics amped adventures, leashes linking legs. Vacation to Smokies, cabins cozy, hikes hand in hand, Amara mapping trails, boys backpacked babbling. Father fish streams, Sophia snapped streams of light. Bonfire ballads bridged generations, his whispers of, I should have said sooner, I love you, daughter. Layla's tears traced firelight, heard it in every show-up. Fall's fanfare, school plays and parent nights, Amara's lines lilting, twins daycare diplomas droll. Layla's film pitched in L.A., execs enchanted. Authentic arc. Back, buzz built, script sessions with scribes who saw souls. Winter's warmth, holiday cards curated, kids' handprints heart-shaped. Sequel launch legends, cues queuing, quotes quoted. A reader, rainbow wrist. Your words wed me to my wife. Layla's hug held homes. Spring splendor. Amara's birthday bash. 8 candles blazing, wishes whispered for more mamas like mine. Twins turned 3, terror trio tag teaming cakes. Center's expansion excavated, wings for workshops whirring. Summer Soul. Beaches beckoned, waves washing worries, shells strung as talismans. Family fused fuller, cousins wedding this time, invites inclusive, Layla walking Amara down, twins ring-bearing. Vows vowed volumes. Love invites all. As leaves turned, Layla pondered porches, Sophia beside. Kids cavorting. Unthinkable's the norm now, she said. Sophia squeeze. And the best part's just beginning. The film's green light glowed like a beacon, pre-production buzzing with buzz. Casting calls, casting doubts, Layla vetoing, tragic backstories for triumphs true. Our crash was catalyst, not catastrophe. She insisted in Zoom huddles, Sophia scripting sensitivity scenes from sidelines. Kids crash meetings too, Amara doodling directors, twins toppling tripods, laughter lightening loads. Hollywood's got nothing on our set, Sophia quipped, clapperboard from craft services. School years solidified strides. Amara's essays earning accolades, her family portrait poem published in Kid Lit mags. Lines of 2 mamas, 3 siblings, 1 endless love. Teachers termed her old soul. Layla saw sparks of self. Twins tamed terrors into teams, soccer squads scampering, Jaden's goals gold, with Kai's cheers. Father's coaching clinic clown cleats his gruff hustle, hiding heart. Family's firmament flowered. Mother's memoir circle bloomed, her from silence to song, shared in church circles, anti-amplifying. Uncle Ray's PFLAG presidency preened podcasts, his grace grows garnering grannies. Reunions rivaled festivals, food trucks fusing flavors, talent shows talenting tots, toasts toasting tolerances. Yet yields yielded yields, center's budget breach from expansion, grants grudging. Layla lobbied legislators, lobby laced with legacies, testimonies from Jamie's journeys, Riley's returns. Victory vetoed vetoes, funds flowing freer. Sophia's Soho success spawned studios, apprentices apprenticing under her brush. Summer Saga. Film set visit to Atlanta stand-in for Chicago, kids costumed as extras, Amara ad-libbing adorably. Action called, her love crashes best, cracked crew. Vacation veered to islands, Caribbean Cays, catamarans cutting cerulean, Amara snorkeling secrets, boys building beach forts. Father fished from docks, Sophia sailing sunsets. Evening's embers etched eternities, his you've built better than I dreamed, a dusk's gift. Fall's fanfare faded to focuses. Amara's activism awakened, school walkout for trans rights, her sign loves all-inclusive snapped syndicated. Layla chaperoned, pride pulsing, Sophia snapping solidarity shots. Twins taekwondo tumbled tenacity, belts blackening bruises. Holidays hummed harmonies. Halloween's horde, zombie apocalypses, Amara's undead poetess penning puns. Thanksgiving's tapestry thanked transitions, fathers carving caribou from Canada trip. Christmas chorus caroled caribous stuffed, New Year's neon newness, kids countdowns counting cuddles. Winter's Weave, book's audiobook voiced by Layla, her timbre trembling tales. Film's first footage flickered family nights, cheers choreographed. A sequel's spark, uninvited legacies, kids' chapters co-authoring. Spring Springboard, Amara's award assembly, essay exalted, family flooding seats. Center's gala gallivanted, Jamie's jazzing jazz. Sophia's satellite studio in Pilsen prepped, murals mapping missions. Summer Summit, premiere prepped, red carpet rumors rippling. Rehearsals rehearsed poise, Amara's Mama's Movie mantra. Vacation to vineyards, Napa's nectar, tastings tempered for tots, Amara's Grape Queen's giggles. Father fermented family feuds into fun, Sophia swirling stories. Fall's finale, premiere's pomp, Chicago's shining, stars stargazing sidewalks. Layla in emerald echoing her crash dress, Sophia sapphire shimmering, kids couture cute. Screens silvered stories, tears tracking triumphs, applause avalanche. Q&A queried quests. The unthinkable? Layla leaned to Mike, Sophia's hand hidden. Inviting the world to our wedding and watching it walk in. After parties aura afterglowed autographs, admirers amassing. A fan, faded rainbow pin. Your crash my closet. Layla's listen then launch. Step out. We're waiting. Fathers toast tiered. To daughters who teach dads. Mothers murmur, my girl. Winter's wonder raps. Holidays heightened, films Oscar buzz bubbling. Amara's advent calendar counted crash days, twins tinkering trailers. Spring sequel. Books launch laps, legacies lived. Center's scholarship soared, named uninvited scholars. Summer soul search, family farm reunion, Auntie's acres aching nostalgia. Amara milked myths from cows, boys barnstormed beams. Evenings echoes, uncle's ukulele, father's fiddle, Sophia's songstress soprano. As leaves loosened, Layla lounged lakeside, family frolicking. Sophia sidled, sunset salting skin. End of era? Layla queried.
Sophia's smile spanned. Nah.
Epic's evergreen. Years layered like lake sediment, the crash a cornerstone in collective lore. Amara, teen titan, directed school plays pulsing pride, her uninvited act auditioning agents. Twins, tween terrors turned thinkers, debated dinners, Kai's climate crusades, Jaden's justice jabs. Puppy passed peacefully, plot planted with paw prints pressed. Film's feathers fanned, awards altered, statuettes shelved with shells. Layla's lectures lectured globally, TEDs in Tokyo, keynotes in Kenya. Sophia's studios spanned states, apprentices authoring arcs. Families firm, father's farmhand for grandkids' gaps, mother's missions mentoring moms. Auntie's archives amassed artifacts, veils veiled in videos. Uncle Ray's retirement rallied rallies. Yet yielded yields. Amara's first love, girl giggle guarded, Layla guiding gently. Heart's yours. Guard it fierce. Twins trials, Kai's coming out as bi, Jaden's allyship, echoed educations. Holidays hallowed histories. Summer's soirees sailed seas, cruises carrying clans. Fall's forums forged futures, centers conclaves convening change. One autumn arbor, leaves lilting Layla and Sophia strolled, kids can ahead. Unthinkable's tapestry, Layla breathed. Sophia's hand heartward, woven with us, forever fringed.